Welcome to Real Conversations, exploring the meaning behind the music. Hi, I'm Robert Brzezinski.
And I'm Jeannie Kataoka. And together, we're having real conversations with your favorite New Thought artists.
Join us as we take a deep dive into the inspiration and meaning behind the music of New Thought. Our guests are ready to share stories from their spiritual journey and creative process with you.
Real Conversations is a chance to look behind the curtain and connect with your favorite New Thought artists.
So let's dive right in. Real Conversations, exploring the meaning behind the music.
Hi, and welcome to Real Conversations. I'm your host, Jeannie Kataoka, and my co-host, which is new, is Al Yankee. I used to be doing this show with Reverend Robert Brzezinski, and we've kind of switched things up so Robert could step back and do some other things. And our most honored guest this morning is Sue Riley. Welcome, Sue.
Thank you. Thank you. Glad to be here.
So I'm going to start with an introduction to Sue so everybody can have a chance to know how fabulous she is. Mm-hmm. So Sue Riley is a musician with a mission: to empower the world one song at a time. A prolific singer-songwriter who has released 8 albums of positive, uplifting music, Sue has also been a leading music director for over 2 decades and is co-founder of Empower Music and Arts, a community dedicated to creating positive global change through music, writing, and spoken word. Empower conducts the annual Posi Awards, which recognizes excellence in songwriting for artists who create songs with messages of peace, oneness, and joyous living, as well as the popular Posi Music Festival and Song School in Tampa, Florida. The 17th Posi-Fest will be held at Unity Village, Missouri, September 14th through 18th in 2022. Sue also tours the country performing in Empower's Posi-Palooza concerts, which bring Posi Award-winning artists together in a unique, uplifting format where the artists swap songs in an organic musical conversation. To date, they have produced more than 300 of these concerts in the U.S. and Canada to rave reviews. According to Harold Payne, a multi-platinum songwriter and a friend of this program, Sue, quote, has tirelessly, enthusiastically, and joyfully championed positive music for well over a decade. Simultaneously, she has evolved right along with this movement into a prolific and very talented singer-songwriter herself. All hail the Posi goddess. So again, welcome, Sue.
I love being a goddess. Thank you, Harold.
So, Al, would you like to kick us off?
Well, yes, and that's a lovely introduction. But for anybody who's not heard Sue's music, I think maybe we should start with that, play something, and then maybe start a conversation. The first thing we have up is "I Am the Thinker." Is there anything that you would like to say about that, Sue, before we play it?
Well, at the time that I wrote that song, our church had experienced a fire, and we were all meeting in the parking lot under a tent, which sounds like it could be fun, like an old revival, but it's not that fun in Florida because it's hot. And it took, we were there for 1.5 years in that tent, during which time we created a band and a great music ministry. And I wrote that song during that time with the idea that it might be a positive affirmation for the youth ministry to sing. It's written after an affirmation by the Reverend Dr. Johnny Coleman. And she's the one that, had that "I am the thinker who thinks the thought" as one of her talks. And ironically, the kids liked it, but the adults in the choir and the music ministry all, push around to see who gets to sing the next version of it. So I was blessed with that song, and I thank Dr. Johnny Coleman for the inspiration.
All right, well, let's give that a listen.
to change my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought that changes things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thoughts. I have the power to change my life. Choose to be the light that brightens someone's darkest night. I'm so much more than meets the eye. I cannot be defined. I am the thinker who thinks the thought that changes things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thoughts. I have the power to change my life. My life. I am the thinker who thinks the thoughts. I have the power to change my life. I have the power to change my life. I have the power to change my life.
I have to say, I love the clarinet in that. And I have a really wonderful woodwind player friend whose name happens to be Al Yankee. And he says he doesn't play clarinet because he likes himself. So not putting any clarinet players down, but apparently that's not fun to play. And so I love to hear it when I can. I much prefer clarinet to soprano sax. So
great. Yeah. There was a very talented musician that my producer knew in Nashville. Fred Bogart knew him. So he came in and just whipped that little song out.
Wonderful.
Like they do. The pros can do that.
Yeah. First take, It took me longer than that to record the vocals.
So has that been a part of your ongoing ministry, that song, since you wrote it? I mean, it seems like the kind of thing that would be, because it's very catchy, and a lovely affirmation. Is it something that gets performed regularly?
Yes, it is probably the song that I am most known for. It's played in lots of churches around the country. It's in several songbooks, and when I go places, it's actually a requested song, So I'm grateful.
There you go. Wonderful. It's got the it kind of reminds me. It kind of reminds me of Carole King in a way.
Oh, yay!
Or, so it's wonderful. So going back? How did you get started with Unity? How did that, or maybe even before that, how did you get started with music? Give us some background.
Well, with music, my grandfather, who was a radio vaudeville kind of musician back during the Great Depression, was my first piano teacher. And he kind of instilled in me the love of music. And I have many beautiful memories of playing music with my grandfather. I wrote a song about that called Grandpa's Hands, and he was my mentor and my inspiration. And then, like so many, I decided where to use my gifts or, my love of music. And I decided that the best way to do that was to perform in, bars and restaurants, which, lost its allure very quickly. And so I answered an ad in the paper for a Unity accompanist for Unity of Clearwater, Florida, probably close to 30 years ago now. And I didn't know what Unity was. I figured it might be a cult, but they were offering a weekly paycheck. And as a musician, that's important. So when I went to the interview, it was so cool and the minister was so amazing that I decided there and then that even if I didn't get the job, I would be coming to this church. And I've been there ever since.
So was it a large center at that point?
Yes, it's always been a pretty large center, and with an amazing minister. So,
how many ministers have you been through there? If you've been there for that length of time,
Reverend Letty Hammock has been there for longer than that. I should know the answer to this, but I think she's been there 35 or 40 years. So It's the only minister I've worked with at the church.
Wow, that's so
Wow.
unusual.
It
That
is very unusual.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that probably goes a long way towards explaining why the consistency of the congregation and the size of it and all of that, the support, the stability of that.
Yeah. And, she's my greatest cheerleader, she and her husband, Russ, in writing songs, very supportive, always have been. Even back, I wrote my first song in 1999, and I wasn't, I didn't even know that I could do it, but I got tired of not having resources, of having to do pop songs where you had to change the words. And I thought, okay, I'm going to try to do this. How hard can it be? Ha ha. I say that with a joke because there's a learning curve. It's plenty difficult, but yeah, so they've been my cheerleaders from day one and so supportive.
What a blessing for you.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. Al knows about getting tired of having to use the same old, and thinking somebody should write songs.
Right.
I think
And
this may be a common story. You actually know, I know quite a few New Thought musicians. I think you probably know more than anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And would you think that that's true? Is that where most people kind of get their initial motivation?
I do know a lot of singer-songwriters that are Posi musicians, and a lot of my friends that were in the folk world that I've brought into the Posi music world. I like to think of myself as a connector. So I knew a lot of people from Summer Songs, which is a beautiful songwriting community in upstate New York each summer. And that's where I brought in Sloan Wainwright, and David Roth was part of that community, and Penny Nichols, and kind of a lot of people have songs that will work for New Thought churches. We have resources now. We don't have to go, redo Climb Every Mountain and sing it 10 times in 1 year.
Exactly.
It wasn't always the case, but now we got plenty of great songs.
Right. Wonderful. And speaking of great songs, let's listen to the next in our list, Everything Changes.
When everything changes, I can change anything. Turning the pages, everything's new. If life's little stages are teaching me anything, it's everything changes, and I can change too. Used to be when things got crazy, I'd get to feeling low, but I found out I can't let that faze me. Honey, now I know. When everything changes, I can change anything. Turning the pages, everything's new. If life's little stages are teaching me anything, it's everything changes, and I can change too. Who expects the unexpected? Life sneaking up on you. And sometimes we all feel disconnected. What you gonna do? When everything changes, I can change anything. Turning the pages and everything's new. If life's little stages are teaching me anything, it's everything changes, and I can change too. Change anything, turning the pages, everything's new. If life's little stages are teaching me anything, it's everything changes, and I can change. Everything changes, I can change anything. Turning the pages, everything's new. If life's little stages are teaching me anything, it's 'cause everything changes and I can change too. Everything changes and I can change too. Everything changes and I can change too.
Every time I listen to this song, and this will be showing my age, I think of Simon and Garfunkel's 59th Street Bridge song,
Oh.
Feeling Groovy. It has that same lightness to it, and it's so fun. I really enjoy it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think this is maybe my favorite to showcase your low register.
Mm-hmm.
Your wonderful alto. I know you've got a very flexible voice, but that if I may make another comparison, it's very Anne Murray-ish.
Oh, great! Thank you.
And when you wrote this, do you it may be a while ago, and you may or you may not remember. But do you remember if you got the melody or on this first, or the lyric, or kind of how this one came together?
This was one of my first forays into co-writing, which I love to do now. And my co-writer on this is Tom Kimmel, who is a very prolific singer-songwriter, and he has lots of songs in movies, and so I was intimidated because co-writing is a very intimate experience. And, so I always hear melody and lyrics at the same time. Not to say that I don't tweak both of them, but I have a general idea. And Tom also hears them both together. So we had a working hook once we got the When Everything Changes, and then we fit the rest of it around that. But we heard both at the same time and then just did some adjusting. So it's kind of, I like to say, it's a lighthearted approach of a difficult subject.
Yes. It is what I'll tell you what I heard, because you are a piano player, a fine piano player, and it really sounded to me like a piano melody, like you might have picked out, because especially that skip, that
That's a Tom Kimmel thing.
Is that okay?
Da 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 da. That thing, yes, that's a Tom Kimmel. That probably wouldn't have come to me.
Make a singer work a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. Like let's use that top range.
Lovely. That was on the recording. It says 2011. Is that about right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Sure. Sounds good.
And so, and how, is that around the same time you started the Posi-Fest?
Well, let's see. Next year will be the 17th year. Let's see if I can do the math. It does that sounds about right, doesn't it? 7. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Can you tell us something about the genesis of that? How that all came to be?
I was on the music team from Unity Worldwide Ministries, and I was the chairperson of the music team. We were trying to put together resources, which were lacking, 20 years ago. And that's where I met Richard McDeesey, who told me about his vision of having like a New Thought type Grammy Awards. And we also at the same time had started Sound Connections through Unity Worldwide, which was more geared for music directors. And so we were doing them both concurrently, but discovered that a lot of the same people came to both. So we morphed the two together. But it started from being a volunteer with Unity Worldwide Ministry. So many good things start from volunteering for what you believe in. And then we created something that we saw a need for. And it's morphed and changed a lot over the years. But that was its very humble beginning, was as a tag on, an add-on, like at a INTA conference. And they gave us like 20 minutes at the end of the conference to present our first set of awards. And now it's morphed into like a 4-day event, standalone event.
There you go. So just for comparison's sake, at your first, how many attendees or how many awards, or what kind of a metric do you have for that first one as compared to nowadays?
Richard would have better answers on this, but let's say we usually give the same amount of awards, but it was called Eye to Eye, which everyone pronounced as Eye to Eye or something else, which is why we changed it. And I believe we gave the same amount of awards, but that year Richard and I nominated the songs just to get it off the ground. So, and like I said, we only had about 20 minutes, 30 minutes tops at the end. So I know Janice Stanfield was there and Karen Taylor Good, Greg Tamblyn. And that's the first CD that we did, a compilation CD from that award. So we had but there were no attendees that were there for us. In fact, like I said, it was just at the very end of one of their presentations, they let us put this 30-minute thing on.
And how many attendees would you have, or would you have had before the pandemic, say?
Well, our usual amount of attendees is around 400 that come for the event. And most of the singer-songwriters that you've ever heard of that are, prolific in the new thought and positive music area come to that for the networking, for co-writing. We've made opportunities for that. Just, meeting music directors and sharing their music. And so, yeah, it's really morphed a great deal.
Wow. Kudos to you on that great success. And
thank you.
Much continued success. Let's move on to our next wonderful piece here by Sue from a few years later called I Am Love. Who's the fellow singing with you on that recording?
That is Glenn Rothell, one of my friends from Summer Songs that I introduced into the Posi world from the folk world.
Nice. That is such a beautiful contemplative piece. It's just serene. I love the way you're using your voice again, the softness and the breathiness in your voice.
Thank you, Al.
It's gorgeous. And it reminds me of Enya, especially.
Nice. I love these comparisons. I'm feeling better all the time.
Yeah. There we go. Was there anything you wanted to say about that song?
Well, Glenn is one of my favorite co-writers. I write a lot of songs with Glenn, and he's just a superb guitar player and has a beautiful voice. And he actually produced my latest CD. And, we were just noodling around in his studio. I was visiting. He lives in New York in the Hudson Valley area. And it's a very simple theme, I am love. I mean, that's basically the whole lyric. And I was looking for something that was an affirmation and also could be used under meditation. And I just started noodling, and he started noodling, and we came up with the song.
It's almost like a round, I feel, when I've listened to it, and I find myself letting it start and then singing along with it. And of course, it's not a round, so it's like, oh, now I need to drop out. But I think, oh, that would be fun to sing in a round, and have like that side of the sanctuary and the other side of the sanctuary. But yeah, it's just lovely. It's beautiful.
So your next piece, again, around from the same time as I Made Room for Grace. Were these released on the same album?
These are both from my I Choose Love CD, one of my most popular CDs. The whole CD was produced by Daniel Namod. So you'll hear Daniel singing some of the high harmony parts or the low harmony parts on these, and adding his magic to the whole compilation. And I wrote this song with my friend Melinda Wood Allen, who's now a minister and serves at a church in Texas. And I write a lot of songs with Melinda as well. So
wonderful. So from Melinda Wood Allen and Sue Riley, here's I Made Room for Grace.
I used to think I had to have my own way, could do everything on my own, living my life like a one-woman play, feeling confused and alone. I held on tight to the life that I knew, till it wasn't the life I remembered. Finally admitting I hadn't a clue, opened my arms in surrender. And I made room for grace. I just stepped aside, opened up a space. Now the blessings arrive every day, since I made room for grace. I want to live without making demands, asking for help when I need it, being happy just doing the best that I can. When I stumble, I won't be defeated, since I made room for grace. I just stepped aside, opened up a space. Now the blessings arrive every day, since I made room for grace. I made room for grace.
if I had insisted on all that I wanted, I see I'd have sold myself short. But when I stopped resisting, I got what I needed, and so much more. Since I made room for grace, I just stepped aside, opened up a space. Now the blessings arrive, since I made room for grace. Just stepped aside, opened up a space. Now the blessings arrive every day, since I made room for grace. Since I made room for grace.
I just wondered as I listened to this, Sue, and I hope this doesn't put you on the spot, but who is Grace to you? Obviously, it's not a person, I know that, but I know it's one of the many, many names for God. But so how did you come to this, and who is Grace to you?
It's a great question. Thank you, Jeannie. Well, to me, grace is the all-encompassing power of love in the universe. And to Melinda, another name for God, she's a minister, as I said. I try not to write overtly religious lyrics into my songs so that they would be able to be used by different faith communities if wanted. But grace to me is the all-knowing universal spirit that once I got out of my own way in the song, because it's like an autobiographical song, once I got out of my own way, then grace, God, spirit, whatever name you want to give that power in the universe that wants you to have this or something better, gave me something better than I'd ever imagined.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Your very first lyric, as a fellow songwriter, I've actually used that lyric myself, and I knew that I was taking it from somewhere else. I used to think.
Mm-hmm.
Holy, Holy Way, Ricky Byers, I think, starts off the same way as well. And it works so well,
Mm-hmm.
that we find these things that do show up that become tomes in a way, become just a gorgeous piece. Oh my goodness. I made room for grace, and now the blessings arrive. Ooh. I heard that put another way: harmony within, serendipity without.
Nice.
Yeah, that's not mine, but I steal from the best.
Yeah, how does the melody go for serendipity? That doesn't always roll trippingly off the tongue.
No, actually, I think that would, feel free to use it, Sue, if you want. It's not mine. Nobody owns this stuff. So, at Unity of Clearwater, have you been virtual all through the pandemic? Are you coming back?
I have learned a lot of new skills, and I'm grateful that I was able to learn them, like what we're doing right now. And I followed the advice of my friends who are techies, like Glenn Rothell and Russ Hammock, and bought the stuff they told me would make my life easier. But we are getting ready to go back into the building for the first time. And now I hope I remember how to do that. I'm sure it'll come back to me, but so far it's like,
Yeah, my center, Riverside CSL, is having a dress rehearsal, so they will be ready.
It's wise. I'm telling you, it's it's a lot of things that and everything's changed, because some people won't be coming back. They're not comfortable yet, and so I have to rearrange the music for the team that I'll have in place, because I've been doing everything by myself or with my assistant. One of us would stream in and sing everything, all the service music and all the special musics, and we'd zoom in some guests. But yeah, so it's not necessarily a new reality, but it may feel like that for a week or two.
I still work outside of churches as a musician, and last weekend was my debut back. With just a little jazz quartet. I was just playing my saxophone and just playing very familiar songs, and it was terrifying.
Really? Yeah, it feels weird, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, that's the kind of job that if you've done them for decades, you just kind of walk in and you do them.
Mm-hmm.
I prepared for a week for that thing, just because I was so uncomfortable.
And to get your chops back up, and to remember the songs that but haven't played them for a year and a half.
Right.
Believe me, sometimes I don't remember my own songs, let alone other people's.
Absolutely. I Choose Love. You mentioned that that was the title of the CD.
Mm-hmm.
So the title track of, we got to play that, yes?
Yeah.
Let's do that. Let's play I Choose Love.
Peace in my life is growing because I choose love. Love's always present, it's what I'm made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one tie that binds us, that can't be undone. I choose love. Peace in my family is growing because I choose love. Let love be present, it's what we're made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one loving family, sharing one son. I choose love. Yes, I do. Peace for our planet is growing because I choose love. Let love be present, it's what we're made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one choice unites us. Let this be the one. I choose love. I choose love. I choose
One of the things I like about the lyrics in this, is that it has the effects of choosing love. It's not just about choosing love. It's about what happens, the peace, and the idea of it, also that we're part of each other. We're one family. And I just, that just really hit home for me.
Thank you. I wrote this song with my friend Karen Taylor Good. And initially, from traveling around to different churches when I could do that, we discovered that most New Thought churches were ending their services with "Let there be peace on earth," but they were changing the lyrics. And when we were part of the music team with Unity Worldwide, the copyright owners of the peace song gave us a version that they would be okay with, but it was not the one, it was not the ones that everybody was using. You could if you went to 5 different churches, you would hear 5 different versions of the lyrics. And
Yes.
so rather than be out of copyright integrity, because I'm all about that, because a church has a dispensation until you duplicate it in any way. So if you make a service tape or put the lyrics up on the screen, then you need a copyright license or permission to do that. So Karen and I set out to write a song using the peace song as a model, and we went line by line trying to get the same feeling, but without having to have anything that changed any lyrics. And a lot of churches now use "I Choose Love" instead of the peace song. And then the copyright owners of the peace song have now signed as part of Empower Music and Arts music rights license. So that's where you report when you use a song, and we pay the copyright holders. And but still not the 50 variants that you would hear. They prefer that we use 1 or 2 of the ones that they've authorized. So
That's it's so important, the work that you're doing there. I know the copyright issue is one that makes people's eyes glaze over. So probably this is not the forum to go into depth on that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's just so important that you have taken that on and kind of keeping people straight, keeping setters and churches straight.
Absolutely, because copyright infringement is not a victimless crime.
Yeah. The main thing with it is, and people didn't know this until we started this license, is that, I'm a member of a pro organization. I'm a BMI writer, but we're such small potatoes. Like Karen Drucker is BMI, Daniel Nahmod is ASCAP. We don't get any money from them. You get money if your song is in a movie or a TV show, or if you're, Stephen Sondheim. But we fell under the radar. But with our license, which, focuses just on the New Thought songwriters, and it's non-exclusive and it's free for a songwriter, they actually get nice checks because people use their songs for every week, every service, and it's the first time that some of these artists have gotten a check or recognition for any of their work. And it feels good to be able to be the vehicle for that. It feels good to write the check, and it feels good to get one too.
Well, bless you for that. My goodness.
Thank you.
Yeah, nobody's getting rich off this music except in their soul.
That's right, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. So anything that can be done to help that is wonderful, and I fully support it. "I Choose Love" is such a wonderful sentiment that it does show up quite a bit. In fact, your friend Daniel Nahmod has that "Love Is My Choice."
Decision. Love is my decision.
Love is my decision. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you
because anything how you react or what you choose to do is always a choice. You can look at something differently and have a different whole appearance and understanding of it. So it's a choice.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I think Wayne Dyer said, when you look at things differently, the things you look at change.
Yeah, that's right. Karen Drucker wrote a song with that little thought.
Beautiful, beautiful. Let's move forward or come closer to our own time with "Ready to Receive." Is there anything you'd like to say about that before we listen to it?
"Ready to Receive" was written at my friend Sloan Wainwright's house in New York. We were getting ready to go to the summer songs. They used to have a winter song. So imagine someone from Florida and Texas, because Melinda was there as well, flying to New York in the dead of winter to go to a songwriting camp where you might be snowed in, which happened, often. So we were there and it was starting to snow, and we actually did get caught there for a couple days before we could go out to do the songwriting. And I started noodling on Sloane's piano, and Sloane started singing and Melinda started singing. And we, just like that, because we were literally frozen in our tracks and couldn't get out of the house, our little muse could catch us, and we got that song. And that is around. We sing it. Takes 3 people to sing it with all of the parts. And another song that Daniel produced at his studio.
Nice. Well, let's give it a listen.
Come to me, I am ready to receive. 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 I am open to love. I am open to love. Come to me. I am open. I am ready to receive. Come to me. I am open. I am ready to receive. Ready to receive love. Ready to receive love. Ready to receive love. Ready to receive love. My heart is open. My heart is open. Ready to receive. My heart is open. Ready to receive. My heart is open. to me,
ready to receive.
I am ready to receive. My heart
to me,
is
ready to
open.
receive.
I am ready to receive.
My heart
to
is ready to receive.
I am ready to receive.
My heart is ready to receive.
I am ready to receive.
This song takes me back in my religious roots. I was raised Catholic all the way through confirmation, and I just think, and I was tickled when you said you like to write things that so they could be used in other denominations. And I think this would be so perfect for confirmation, which is when young people say yes to their faith, and it's kind of based on the idea of when the Holy Spirit descended on the apostles. So, ready to receive. I think as they were approaching, the bishop usually performs the confirmation, and I think it would be lovely to have this being sung as that is happening in Catholic churches.
Thank you. I was also raised Catholic, and I still play at a Catholic church as a side job. And Pentecost is this weekend coming up, and they're all getting ready to go back into church for the first time. And I never thought of that, but it would be a perfect song, being open to receive.
Mhm.
So thank you. Great
Mhm.
idea. I can teach it to my choir.
Okay.
Yeah, quickly. The reminds me of the Pachelbel canon, the way
Mhm.
the way it repeats and adds melodies and changes and with variations, and then you put two of them and then three of them together. It's
Mhm.
just wonderful.
And we
And again,
recorded that at Winter Songs, standing in different parts of an old building. So it's one of the few that's not done on separate tracks. We were all in the same building singing on different mics, and somehow it worked.
yeah.
It certainly did.
And again, I'm going to reference Enya because especially you've got the strings in there which are really nice, and then those pizzicato towards the end, those pizzicato strings come in, and I just had to smile when that happened. Yeah, that's perfect. That's
That's
just
Danny for you.
So was he doing all that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I played the general riff, the da da da, that part. I played that on the piano, and then everything else that's in there, Daniel has put in, except for the vocals.
Now I know that he comes out sometimes in the winter list and tours around with Posi-Palooza with you, and is it you and Richard usually, or?
It's usually me or Richard. So often it'll be me, Daniel, and Claudia Carawan, or, because Richard and I are both co-founders, along with Russ Hammock of Empower Music and Arts, we try to have two artists and one of us. There'll always be one of us on the Posi tour, but we used to do them together, but usually he stays. He's the music director and associate minister at his church in Virginia, his wife's church, Unity Renaissance. So he can't really travel as much as I could.
Well, we need to get you, the East Coast has had way too much of you, and we haven't had near enough. We need to get, you've been out here a bit, but we need to get you out here a lot more, especially, in our neck of the woods here in Southern California. In the
Yeah, I haven't been there for a long time. Yeah, looking forward to it.
We need to do that. So now we're going to bring it right up to the moment. There are moments. Talk to us about that.
We were at a co-writing retreat, and Richard played this little riff that he had, the little piano part that starts it. And he and Harold had just come up with a little part of the chorus. And Harold and I finished the song by phone. It's one of my favorite songs on my new CD. And actually, you're, as a songwriter, and you know this, Al, you're always looking for a song that you can put on a CD that when you play it, people will come up and want to buy the CD for that song. And, Ready to Receive is the song on that CD. And this is the song on There Are Moments. I love it. It's a co-write between Harold Payne, myself, and Richard and Paula McDeesey. And it's I love the theme of it, which I've written, which is one of my big things now, is since I've been home for a year and a half, like most of the world, you can look at things that you're used to and you can see them with new eyes and see, the beauty that's there, even though you're doing something that feels very familiar. There can be moments that take your breath away with just the sheer wonder that's there. And I want to be more aware of that, going back out into the world, looking at things with wonder instead of like, oh, do I have to do this? Or, I'm late.
Yeah, when magic happens unexpectedly, wonder of the world is all I see.
Yeah. So,
well,
but I also like Dance of Possibilities to the rhythm of my destiny.
Yeah,
that's a lyric. Yeah,
that's a Harold Payne little.
I wondered.
That's a Harold Payne. We kept with the dancing metaphors, but he came up with that bridge for the most part.
All right, There Are Moments.
An ordinary day, in an ordinary life, there's beauty all around me, but sometimes all I see is black and white. Going through the motions, life's just passing by. Drifting in a daydream, wishing I'd wake up from the emptiness inside. But there are moments, when magic happens unexpectedly. There are moments, precious moments, when the wonder of the world is all I see. First breath of the morning, whispers in my ear, says you've got it all inside you. Will you know it in your heart when it appears? 'Cause there are moments, when magic happens unexpectedly. There are moments, precious
the world is all I see. This dance of possibilities to the rhythm of my destiny won't let me slip into my old routines. 'Cause there are moments, when magic happens unexpectedly. There are moments, precious moments, when the wonder of the world is all I see. All I see.
You know, you really there are moments in this song. Oh my goodness. Honestly, this sounds to me. The lyrics are crafted beautifully. The wonder of the world, the way that fits in your mouth and the way it comes across on the microphone is just so beautiful. And the melody. There are in your hook. There are moments. Mm-hmm. There's spots where the melody is dissonant. This is a little portamento, I guess, isn't that what it is? When a melody drops into the consonant note from the dissonant note.
Oh, I never heard that term.
Well,
very good.
Okay. I think that's right. If I'm wrong, somebody will
make it up.
Yeah,
we'll
go with that.
He's good at that.
But yeah, so so it just adds to the poignancy of it. You know, it's because moments, of course, are so temporal. You know, mm-hmm. So they're gone. And did you get it? Did you appreciate it? And that's what this song is all about. And it really seems to me like this is where you're coming really into your full fruition, both as songwriter, as performer, producer. It's really a gorgeous piece, and it's a gorgeous production.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I like this song. It's one of my favorite new songs, and I like the way the voice floats over the piano part and how there's a little bit of dissonance because of the chords we chose. And yeah, it's fun. It's fun to sing, and it's fun I think people enjoy listening to it. So I'm thrilled that you guys are playing it.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing it with us.
Absolutely.
What's coming up for you, Sue? I mean, the world seems to be slowly opening up. I know you mentioned you're going back into your church, and we did mention the next Posi-Fest, but what else is coming up for you?
Well, I am going on my first in-person little tour this summer, the end of June and the first week of July, to Michigan and to Indiana, where my family is. I visit my aunts that I haven't seen for a year and a half. And I've lined a couple of in-person speaking music and message that I do. And in August, we're going to do a pro member virtual songwriting retreat, which is a co-writing retreat, which is where we get so many of these fabulous songs. And Harold will be part of that, and Sloan and Glenn and Karen Drucker, David Roth, Jan and JD. There's about 20 people that will be part of it. All possible because you can do little breakout rooms, whereas you couldn't bring that many people into somebody's house. So, and then we're going to do a virtual awards show in September for the finalists of this year's submissions. And, I'm just starting to, put my things on the calendar and, look at how I can see if I can remember how I booked all these things together. Sure, it'll come back to me. It can't be very far buried, but so lots of fun things, exciting, and just grateful for the life that I get to live and the things, the fact that I get to share music and meet so many wonderful people and write with so many wonderful people. And I feel very fortunate.
Well, the world is blessed by your presence and your music.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there a favorite song of yours that maybe hasn't been discussed here today? Is there something that maybe has some personal connection with you? Maybe even is not a New Thought song?
A song that I wrote?
Sure.
All my songs seem to be about personal transformation, like where I am in my life or, what I'm thinking about. And, they're all kind of like your children. I have them for different things. One of the most fun songs that I get to perform at shows is the yoga retreat, my yoga retreat, which is, one of my funny songs. I try to use humor in a lot of my songs, but it's a complete funny song about a yoga experience that went awry in so many ways. And I still do yoga, and I think it's life-changing. But it's interesting to look at something that happened that's not quite what you expected, or which you might think was not a good thing, and look at it with eyes of humor, and it kind of changes everything. So that's one of my favorite songs that, I don't usually do it in church, but I do it on concert tours. It has a good message, that doesn't usually fit with sermon topics.
That's right. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Sue.
Thank you.
It's been fun.
Thanks.
Those are Real Conversations. We've been talking with Sue Riley, my host, Jeannie Kataoka, and this is Al Yankee. Thanks.
Thank you for listening to Real Conversations, exploring the meaning behind the music. Real Conversations is produced by the New Thought Radio Network, sharing a vibration of love, positivity, and empowerment through a variety of media streams. Learn more on the web at newthoughtmedianetwork.org. Listen to past episodes of Real Conversations on the podcast page at newthoughtradio.net. Until next time, peace and blessings. Go forth and prosper.